Arson is defined as deliberately or recklessly setting fire to another person's property. Now, one question a lot of people ask is it arson if I burn my own property? And the answer is generally no, except for two situations. If you burn your own property for fraudulent purposes, so for example to collect insurance proceeds, then that can be considered arson. And also, if you burn your own property, but say that fire spreads and it ultimately burns someone else's property or injures somebody else, then that situation you can be charged with arson as well. Now, arson usually has to be on purpose. We do have a lesser offense in California called reckless burning that's more likely to be charged in a situation where somebody starts a fire on accident, but in a situation where they were behaving recklessly, such as flicking a cigarette into dry brush or failing to put out their campfire. But to be charged with arson, it usually has to be a situation where you deliberately set the fire. Now, here in California, there is an enormous amount of political pressure to crack down on arsonists. And we've seen certainly some horrible wildfires where there's been deforestation and homes have been lost and people have been injured or killed. And amidst that, there's an enormous amount of pressure on police and prosecutors to detect arsonists and apprehend them and throw the book at them. And we've even seen a case in Riverside recently where a person was given the death penalty because he started a fire and a fireman got killed trying to put out the fire. So it's very serious. But amidst all this political pressure, we find that a lot of times there's a rush to judgment where a lot of innocent people get wrongly arrested and wrongly accused of arson. Now, personally, I've been involved with arson cases both as a prosecutor and now as a defense lawyer. And I can tell you, in looking at these reports by county fire investigators, they often are very quick to point the finger at someone. They often do a very quick, very cursory investigation. And if there's someone who is in the vicinity of the fire or is under even remote suspicion, they're very quick to point the finger and identify that person as their suspect. Here at Schaus Law Group, whenever we get an arson case, one of the first things we do is we do an independent fire investigation. And many times we find that it was really somebody else who set the fire, or the evidence pointing to our client really is not valid at all, or that the fire started as an accident, or there was some third independent cause that started the fire and it really had nothing to do with our client. If you or a loved one is charged with arson, we invite you to contact us here at Schaus Law Group. Let us investigate the case. It may well be possible to get the charges reduced or even dismissed.